When you've fallen and you can't get up, you may need help. So get Life Alert.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about news stories covering the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King, involvement in Vietnam, fashion, entertainment and music, assassinations, and women's issues. Now on to our first story. Breaking news that has just come in. Robert Kennedy has just been shot outside of a ballroom at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, shortly after delivering a speech in the California primary. He was only 42. This marks the second assassination this year after famed civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in early April, standing on the balcony of his room at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. Robert Kennedy's brother and 35th President of the United States, John Kennedy, was assassinated 5 years earlier while riding in an open car in a parade in Dallas, Texas. Kennedy's assassination remains a mystery, as many conspiracy theories have emerged after the claimed assassinator, immediate Harvey Oswald, committed suicide while being held in a prison. Now on to you, Brian.
So, breaking news. We have a guest here, Mr. Kevin Johnson. He's going to give us his input about MLK's going to Montgomery in support of the bus boycott. Little background information is that Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a Caucasian man. Mr. Johnson, how do you feel about this?
Specifically, how do I feel about what, young man?
MLK going to support the bus boycott in Montgomery.
I think that was a fantastic thing he did.
Why do you say so?
African Americans in the United States in this day and age deserve the same rights as all Americans. Caucasian, Hispanic, African American, Malaysian, we all deserve to have the same rights. I think it was a great thing.
And in other news, the March on Washington. I have details that you were a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did you support that?
I support freedom. I support what's right. I support making sure that we do the right thing, not just for African Americans, but our Latino brothers and sisters, our Caucasian brothers and sisters. And when you stand for what's right, you do what you need to do in order to make sure the right things get done. And marching in Washington was the right thing at the time.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Also, we have some rumors arise about the Black Panther organization. This organization is opposite of Martin Luther King's movement of nonviolence. They support violence. What do you think about this organization?
Now, that's not a rumor.
Oh, okay.
That's not a rumor. My mother was a Black Panther. And she was a person that understood that by any means necessary, you do what you need to do in order to get things accomplished in this world. But Martin Luther King came along and showed us a different way. The Black Panther Party was very relevant for the time that they were here. But we have to understand that with laws, being able to vote, and doing the right things for the right reason, we can do them without violence. So therefore, the Black Panther Party played a significant role in making sure that African Americans receive their appropriate rights. We have evolved to do things in a way where nonviolence takes precedence over violence. Make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right.
Thank you for that insightful idea about the Black Panthers.
It's not an idea, son. It's the truth.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry. And to wrap things up, we have the president has expressed his feelings nationally about the civil rights movement, and he supports it. What do you think about this, considering the President JFK is Caucasian?
How can you be the president of the greatest country, free country in this world and not support rights for all mankind? Being the president, it's an obligation. It's a priority. It's his lawful duty to ensure that rights are given to all Americans, black, white, Latino, and other. And it's his responsibility, being the leader of this free world, to make sure that those things are taking place in this beautiful country called the United States of America, young man.
Thank you, sir. And now back to you, Skylar.
The 60s culture is changing dramatically, introducing new forms of art, music, magazines, and movies. They're introducing a new form of music called rock. The leading band right now is called the Beatles. The Beatles came up in 1967, really kicking off their rock type of music, connecting with people everywhere, especially the younger generation of children and teens. Not to mention the art that's coming in. The younger generation are really making some pop art. Andy Warhol really leading the industry. Their art was very unique and commercial-looking images. This art was meant to be impersonal and mass-produced looking, somewhat implying how society was very similar and not original anymore. The society was very cookie-cutter. The attitude of the changing and breaking away from the cookie-cutter culture by movies, magazines, and books. They created more of a sexual revolution to become more casual and permissive. Feminism. It's the next big thing. Women everywhere are acting out for what they believe in. Betty Friedan seemed to really be starting this trend. She saw women not getting what they deserved and wrote the popular book, The Feminine Mystique. She was addressing this as the problem that has no name. Just in the last 10 years, only 1 out of 3 women worked for wages. By now, it's increased to 40%. The feminist group did not seem to be acting well when getting involved in the civil rights and anti-war movements. Women seem to be protesting this movement in certain groups such as SNCC and SDS. This woman protested their arrangement, but the men just seemed to be ignoring their protests. Betty Friedan saw the actions and took control. She created NOW. NOW, the National Organization for Women, used to get the rights women deserve. Today we're joined with Ms. Johnson, a National Women's Organization follower. How did you get started in the NWO?
Initially, I got started in NWO because I wanted to further the movement of women's rights. I believe that women should receive equal and fair distribution for what they commit to, what they present to society as well. And initially, I believe that what women bring to the workforce as well as to academia has value. So I joined an organization of women who would also further that same movement.
And how do you feel about feminism?
I have an answer for that.
Continuing on the story, what is it like working in an organization with 2 different cultural backgrounds?
I would like to answer that question if you don't mind. Young lady, we're working toward one common goal. The difference in our background doesn't have relevance. We're promoting equal rights and equality for all. And so the idea that we have 2 different backgrounds, I think only enhances what our movement is about. She and I work together as we do with many other women from different backgrounds, and we all promote the same feeling, is that women of all races and all nationalities can do the same work that others can do. Would you like to add something to that?
I agree.
Thank you. Back to you.
Fashion. Now I'm going to introduce the topic of the Vietnam War. Debate on whether the U.S. should enter the Vietnam War has been set aside. President Johnson appointed General Westerly Moore to lead the troops into Vietnam and support South Vietnam. There's been a lot of controversy revolved around this topic. 2 organizations known as the Doves and the Hawks, the Doves who are against the war and the Hawks who support the war, are at conflict right now. The reason President Johnson considers entering the war is because he wants to further elaborate on his thoughts of containment. And that's it.
Thank you, Brian. Today I'm here with Skylar. Skylar's a hippie from Minnesota. So Skylar, can you tell me a little bit about your outfit today?
Today I'm going for the psychedelic look with bell-bottom pants and a flowy blouse.
Now, who was your inspiration for this look?
I'm going for a female version of the Beatles.
Wow, thank you, Skylar.